So good. Like Ada has every conversation.
That's really cool. She was really pretty. When she walked by. Fresh out of like a dark green eyes.
Disney's the Lion King. Disney's the Lion King. Disney's the Lion
The Handmaid Dianetics, Episode 3, Ofhubbard, by Joyce Miller.
We regret to inform the audience that our offer of complimentary tinfoil bonnets to the first 20 guests has been confiscated by the government. Next to your seat, you will find magnifying lenses for the identification and removal of unwanted body patrons.
Setting: an exhausted potluck table draped in red cloth after a night's revelry and fundraising sits center stage.
Fellow Scientologists, today I stand before the membership of the Church, having discovered that I am a born operating fate, as evidenced by the superhuman abilities displayed in calling out spies hired to sabotage me when I tried to leave. Furthermore, I experienced the cognition that I am not gay after all, merely experiencing a classic example of past life gender confusion. In my previous lifetime, I was a man. And not just any man, but Scientology's founder, L. Ron Hubbard himself. I stand before you to attest as the first person to have ever achieved the level of operating Phaeton 9, reclaim my rightful place as the executive of Source, and carry out Scientology's biggest global expansion yet.
in the house of the Handmaid Son.
Enter Doris, a social worker wearing a Frida Kahlo t-shirt, she enters the marble foyer of Ofhubbard's opulent executive office. On the spacious oak desk rests a patchy handmade gun cobbled together out of an old projector arm and some scrap metal that Ofhubbard found in the garbage while she was off the grid.
Ofhubbard,
This is the office of Source.
I'm a social worker. My name is Doris. What was that wailing I just heard just now?
I was self-auditing. Upper-level operating Thetans audit themselves.
This is about the mobile crisis unit that was sent to your office.
Yes, I recall that.
I'm a social worker.
You practice psychiatry.
I have a summons. It says Ofhubbard is a detriment to both herself and the community. She's dangerous and still seems to resent the help she got from my girlfriend and me.
What says?
The summons I'm reading to you.
Oh God, I know who sent it. It's my ex. My one true love. She's in town for a show.
Your ex?
Well, not in her mind, but go on.
I'm worried that Ofhubbard might turn out the way her schizophrenic uncle did, and I'd rather risk embarrassing her now.
Schizophrenia isn't real.
Doris steps back a few paces, reaches for something in her pocket.
I'm kidding. Do you think I could joke like that if I was not completely sane? Oh, what, so now you're gonna call the cops? What is this, Russia? You're a Soviet? Who do you work for? Putin? Stalin? Lenin? You know we have a thing for Pavlov's dogs. Come here, look. I want you to see my gun. I built this using Scientology study technology. Study tech removes all the barriers to learning so that any skill you thought you could not learn or master can be yours. When you use study tech, the things you learn are stored in your analytical mind forever, through each successive lifetime. Come look, it's decorative. I won't shoot. Bang! You see? I made this gun when I was blown. Do you know what that means? I'd run away. You've done your research on our terminology. I'd run away. I had to see the world. To know with so total certainty that I was born an operating Thetan and what it means. Responsibility.
An operating thing?
Playing dumb? I'll humor you before I send you out. I left the church. I was a child here. I fell in love. I told the church and blew because I had a misunderstood word. The reason one abandons any course of study is a misunderstood word. So then I cleared the word, and now I'm back.
Wait, I'm confused. What was the word you cleared?
The word was gay. I thought I was, I'm not.
I see.
I'm the executive of this church. I don't have time for your bureaucracy. My sole concern is clearing planet Earth. I need you to get off this property.
I just have some questions.
What?
I have to ask, otherwise I can't leave.
Yes, you can.
Do you feel suicidal?
Get out now.
I'll put them down. Do you think you'll harm others?
In Scientology, we help others. So tell me, what newspaper do you work for? You have no right to be here. Please get out. Get out, get out, get out!
Doris exits hastily.
Social worker. Merchants of chaos, everyone subsisting on societal decay. Did you see her try to humiliate me?
Ofhubbard sits down at her desk. Cue slide. Hubbard chart of human evaluation.
The chart of human evaluation states incorrectly that you can't be gay in the sexual behavior column without the corresponding row of traits. Yet in the column value as a friend, and in the column how much others like you, I'm excellent and loved by many, and because I have a high concept of truth, there's only one conclusion I can make. There must have been some mistake. Irregular sexual practices must be redefined for somebody so high-toned as I. I forgot. I have to make that clip for Scientology's 24-hour cable channel.
Ofhubbard sets up a small web camera.
Loyal viewers of Scientology Television's 24-hour cable channel, I speak to you from the office of Source, where I mourn the passing of our planet's biggest popular country music crossover pop star, Taylor Swift. On the contemporary teenage landscape, where drugs, confusion, and psychiatry often lay in wait, Taylor Swift was a sanctuary for ethics, with high interest towards the opposite sex and procreation sublimated into creative thought. She was a friend, able to bring any being in distress up to her chronic emotional tone level, enthusiasm. Whether because they felt uncool, or picked on, or had just broken up with their girlfriend if they were a boy, or boyfriend if they were a girl, or even reverse, since Scientology is tolerant of all. So was Taylor Swift. May her spirit swiftly end cycle on this lifetime so that she may move into the next, free from the reactive mind.
There will be Scientology volunteer ministers on call at all checkpoints along the memorial procession to provide touch assists, level 1 Dianetics auditing, and Way to Happiness pamphlets for those who are also suffering from the loss and want to find out more about how Scientology and Dianetics can help alleviate the painful experience of Taylor Swift's death. Or purchase L. Ron Hubbard's never been before released Child Dianetics Extension Course Lectures. Dianetics.
Let me tell you a story of no love and no glory. Manifest my one trust, lead me to the echo chamber where I'll meet my death and your black Dianetics. Black Dianetics. Withhold your lies, be hypnotized, and the reactive mind will do the rest. I remember when we first met. I was standing there on the corner of 42nd Street and Broadway, passing out free movie tickets for Orientation, the Church of Scientology's mandatory introduction film at the time. Here you go. And there you were, playing your gay propaganda music on the subway platform. I offered you a postcard and said, you know, the artist is the most highly revered being on the planet. Artists shape the culture. And then you gave me a bag of rainbow gummy bears. That was where the trouble all began. She used gestures and phrases from my childhood phases and subliminal tactics, abominable practice. Oh, your black Dianetics, black Dianetics has left me in a double bind. Now I cannot even recognize my own damn mind. The church hired you as a spy to blackmail me for being a lesbian. Instead, I was like, wow, thanks for helping me discover my sexuality. I read an article that the church once mailed a forged gay love note and strap-on to the boss of one of their biggest critics' wives. You never bought me any presents. All my files have been raided. All my dreams, they have faded. What's more illegal, my phone's back door, or the fact that you keep leaving me with wanting more of your black Dianetics, black Dianetics. I once was good and simple too. Now I'm sorting through the rubble of a world I knew. Now I'm floating through the wreckage of a world I knew. Of Ken. making you second in command was the best decision I ever made. Did you send for my files? Good, I'm ready to see them. Finally to know the truth. Are those hackers from Anonymous still detained? Good. Today is my birthday. I can't have them sabotaging my award presentation to the winner of the L. Ron Hubbard birthday game. After all, I am L. Ron Hubbard. Well, was. I can't believe I thought I was gay. It was just past life gender confusion all along. You always hear about it, and you of course can never imagine it happening to you, but wow, when it does, it's so convincing. Of course, just like L. Ron Hubbard always wrote, or rather, like I always wrote, last lifetime when I founded Scientology. The greatest leaders don't wear decorations. My ex is coming to play at the Taylor Swift Memorial. I got her the job in secret. Of course, I'll never admit it. She'll never know my sacrifice.
Ofhubbard removes a domed lid, eats like popcorn from a giant bowl of red gummy bears, noticing a green one and plucking it out.
What is this? I ordered every gummy bear and every ideal org that wasn't the color of a vibrant Handmaid's red to be removed. The only reply my ex has sent in response to the poem I shared is a link to this meditation video. Noel's new girlfriend makes meditation videos that she publishes on YouTube? Probably trying to submit them for a spot on Scientology's 24-hour cable channel. I better examine it for stolen Scientology technology. Probably I'll need a false data rundown after this.
Ofhubbard opens the link of the meditation video and hits play. We hear Doris' voice over sensual healing solfeggios.
You are an immortal spiritual being. All that you do, all of your actions has a purpose.
Why does that voice sound so familiar?
The video shows the image of a sniper crosshair.
Now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine the shape that you see on the screen. It is designed to center you. Center. 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 Go to the center. Imagine the image and go to the center.
The video is interrupted by the sound of a loud buzzer on Ofhubbard's desk. Ofhubbard reacts and grabs the gun, sees no threat, slowly comes out of kill mode. Ofhubbard slams the phone buzzer on her desk.
I said if you contact my office, don't buzz, come up in person. Ken, do you remember when we tricked that Scientology spy posing as a radical activist who strategically befriended me and tried to convince me to perform that offensive piece of theater in order to destroy my reputation? Do you know what I wish for my birthday, Ken? That you won't show up to my ceremony tonight dressed like such a faggot. That's better. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I've never done before. Who could have known what made it so exciting? Why, all at once, my heart took flight. I only knew when they began to dance with me. Dance, dance, dance. I could expand all night. I could expand all night and still have built an org. Set sail on all free winds, safe point all of Finland, opened an Etsy store. We could sell Dianetics merch on Etsy. see. Save all those low lives from themselves. I only know that we prevail triumphantly. I could expand.
Enter Noel.
All right.
You haven't learned the art of privacy.
You haven't learned the art of public scandal.
I'm mastering it as we speak.
This is uncomfortable. Can you feel it? Can you feel that this is uncomfortable?
You know nothing about leadership. All you know are your bohemian songs. Spread false data. False data destroys lives. Spreading false data, that's a high crime. And knowingly, that will get you declared. You murderer, or may as well be. You don't know all the things I did for you, but I will not explain my sacrifice. I gave for love and not to guilt you later. You used me as a political prop.
Every situation has a choice. Every choice is political. It's possible for something to be grassroots and for the lawn industry to do well. If you see one thing more than one way, you might not be in this position.
What? Positioned as a global superpower? As if I had a choice. You brought me here. I was your love. Your innocent new love. I left and risked my life, was hunted down.
You get, we didn't date.
I was your love. Was picking through the garbage for the signs you would come back for me when it was safe. You targeted me with algorithms through my hacked Facebook, which conditioned me to come and save you with a homemade gun. I obeyed. The gun did not go off. My OT powers saved me from myself. My powers that I didn't know I had. You tried to hide them from me. Sabotage. And let me show up with a homemade gun.
We talked like maybe 5 times.
I'm your love. You didn't give a shit. I could have died. Then I remembered I was L. Ron Hubbard. Reclaimed my place as leader of this church. That song where you make fun of Taylor Swift.
I don't make fun of Taylor in that song. I just critique the problematic points of capitalism she represents. I see you found my SoundCloud.
I'm your love. And seeing how she pained you in this way, I had her killed.
You murdered Taylor Swift?
I handled Taylor Swift. I handled her.
You murdered Taylor Swift.
I handled her.
Just to let you know, my girlfriend's here.
Your girlfriend.
Well, she's more or less my wife.
More or less? Which one? They're different things. But like you always say, you can't have both.
Both being gay and Scientology? No.
Both dating men and being LBGD.
I never said that.
You implied it though. My deepest fear from hacking my Google.
I didn't hack you.
Then your handler did. Saw I Googled how straight girls destroy lesbians and treat you interchangeably with men and used that knowledge just to trigger me. 5 days later, I bought a Metro card. I had to choose weekly or $32 worth of rides. You're like, can't have both.
You mean in the subway that one time I was standing behind you in the line?
Your hacktivist collective set that up so I would feel personally attacked.
Enter Doris, a social worker from before.
Meet my girlfriend. She's a social worker.
Oh, sorry. Look at this classic Taylor Swift song. Okay, so you're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's upset. She's going off about something that you said, 'cause she doesn't get your humor like I do. I'm in the room, it's a typical Tuesday night. I'm listening to the kind of music she doesn't like, and she'll never know your story like I do.
Ofhubbard watches, unable to separate her hatred of Doris from her enjoyment of the performance.
We figured since we're gonna play the song critiquing themes that Taylor represents, we should also cover her songs too. It's Taylor's funeral, so show respect. Oh, look, a cute doll. What's her name? Ken?
How did you know that? Ofken goes by they. The royal they. You're both going to play?
She's actually singing her first time.
Oh, you're so right about her early lyrics. I wish she'd write some bluegrass songs as well.
Wow. A social worker and an artist.
Ofhubbard, this is Doris.
We have met. Yeah, she's the social worker. From before.
Noel, you didn't tell her, or should I?
I don't want to, like, mansplain it, though.
I love your ex. I mean, she's like straight now, right?
My ex? I never even said we dated.
It's normal to block memories of loss. I was always straight. I'm just so femme that everyone's a man compared to me. The leader of this church does not have friends who do not pass a thorough background check.
Ofhubbard, we're just friends. We are your friends.
You're
Ofhubbard?
a hired honey trap, even if they pay you in dopamine.
I'm really not... Dora, get the Thorazine.
The what? The Thorazine? You stay away.
Ofhubbard, we just want to help.
I am the leader of a global church. You don't come in my office and drug me.
We won't come in your office and drug you.
Did you know I'm a Scientologist? I practice their administrative tech.
She thinks it's great. It made her parents rich. She learned it at an activist retreat.
I'm an indie Scientologist. I know that means you have to hunt me down since bastardizing Scientology is a high crime and called being a squirrel.
Noel hands Ofhubbard a plastic shopping bag with bright red wires and electronics.
We also found this camera on the tree in her front yard. Are you spying on me?
Why, I have no idea what you mean. I'm frankly concerned for your mental health.
Ofhubbard pulls out an identical Frida Kahlo t-shirt and puts it on. Stands mirroring Doris' exact physical stance, as if to broadcast tauntingly that she knows everything about her private life from spying will never be cut.
You are a squirrel. You came here so I would look like a jerk. You thought you could make me look weak and cruel. What were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Ofhubbard, we talked about this before.
It's my fault. Noel did not want to come.
I thought it would be good for you to have transparency. That's what we're all about.
I'm non-hierarchical.
Wait, what? You cannot even say the word. Your recklessness would kill us all in a day. I might declare you a suppressive person, but I worry it's just stupidity. You probably just came for attention in hopes that my ex will get over me.
I take the tech and I make it my own.
The Unabomber took society and made it his own too. Yay, you're the same. So smart. He went to Harvard, and guess what they found in his blood? Psychiatric drugs. Psychiatrists experimented on him. So while you do your trends and talk self-care and making it your own, I'll just be here saving your ass. In times of hardship that test the human spirit, when one has no choice but to sink or sail, this boat will flip if you don't try to steer it. I, Ofhubbard, shall prevail, shall prevail, shall prevail. I, Ofhubbard, shall prevail. When I am alone, when I am alone, and it feels like I might go insane, I remind myself, it's just the voice to skull inside my brain.
Shall prevail! Shall prevail! I, Ofhubbard, shall prevail!
Ofhubbard lies there twitching. A military voice-to-skull device has successfully targeted Ofhubbard and sent her disoriented to the ground. Noel and Doris lunge to help her.
Here, I'll hold her. Give her the other mild sedative I brought.
A body, Phaeton! Get it off me!
Are you sure this is legal?
Yes, I memorized the terms of involuntary committal according to the Baker Act. I brought like 3 copies.
Soviets! You're fucking Soviets! You don't know it yet, but you work for them. They hypnotized you. She's a sleeper spy. Noel, she's infiltrated the US race wars to gain power. I need my legal pad. No, I can't have drugs or it will disqualify me from being an operating Phaeton, and then I'll have to drop my body and come back next lifetime. Operating Phaetons do not commit suicide. We drop our bodies at will. I can show you now.
The audio of Hubbard's self-auditing session begins playing over the loudspeakers of the entire Scientology org.
I fell in love with a person, and I sensed doom. I sensed doom right away. It was because I was on some basic nervous system
What is
level.
that?
Noel. I can't even say her name. Like, intentionally made me feel like
Shut
I
that
was
off.
worthless for being with a man and being
Shut
allergic
that
to
off.
streamers.
That's anonymous.
And
They
then
leaked the tapes over the loudspeaker again. They're fake tapes. That is not me. They're fake tapes of my self-auditing sessions.
Ofhubbard, what are you doing?
You will address me as source.
Ofhubbard, I mean, source. I have a self-giving queer name too. It's Empath. How about I refer to you as source, and you refer to me as Empath? Does that sound like a deal?
There is no empath on the Scientology org board.
it was like, she made it seem like she was just talking about Metro cards, but you could tell she was not just talking about Metro cards. But by then, I was just like, well, Noel fell in love with me for being straight, so I'm like, going to stay that way.
Ofhubbard, you're not writing a suicide note, are you?
If it is, we have rights to invoke the Baker Act.
I'm writing up my overts and withholds against that, so it can't hurt me anymore. DirComm Orchestral, cut the sound system and handle her now.
You can't touch me. I have terms for the involuntary detention and evolution of your religious leader. She is a victim of human trafficking and most likely also suffering from Stockholm Syndrome.
Isn't that technically a suicide note? Exhibits mental illness check, harmed itself and others unclear.
Desk buzzer goes off. Ofhubbard picks up gun from her desk. Doris is gonna kill no trance.
Okay. According to the Baker Act, here in the state of Florida, you've demonstrated sufficient evidence of being a danger to yourself and to others and exhibiting signs of mental illness. I have grounds for your involuntary evaluation and committal.
That's not a working gun. She made it from scratch using Scientology technology.
This is a working gun. I made it from scratch using Scientology technology.
Noel was only a hired honey trap. I want her to fucking die forever. No, that's not true. Just her girlfriend. What if she's not? Or what if she is, but then accidentally developed feelings for me? I know that she did.
Ofhubbard fires the gun into the air. It doesn't go off, but to make her believe that it has, one of the musicians quickly goes to a panel on the wall and flips a switch. The audio screeches to a halt.
Get out. Get out of my office.
I'm a non-hierarchical social worker. I don't believe in borders, walls, or bureaucracy standing in the way of social justice. I'm taking off my social worker hat, Scientology, and putting on my friend hat. Let's just say I graduated with honors from the basic friend hat manual. And no, that is not offered at the Church of Scientology. The basic friend hat manual is contraband, squirrel group, false data. I teach it in high schools all across the United States. So now I stand before you as not your social worker, but your friend. See my hat? I bet you've really never known what it feels like to have a real friend, Hubbard. And that's not your fault. Scientology doesn't teach people to be very good friends to one another. Not one bit.
I've already got a friend.
Dora, I can talk to her if you give me a little time before we go off to play the show.
I just don't want her to trigger you.
She won't. She can't.
Doris, upset, walks out.
You can't let them take me. I know the SWAT teams are waiting to tell the church they've warranted for search and seizure. I worry about the good members of this congregation who've done nothing to deserve this. I can't bear to think that I was set up to destroy their way of life.
You were never set up.
Set up to be the incompetent tyrant who finally gives the authorities an excuse to destroy this organization. Oh God, think of all the casualties. Oh God, please just give me one more day. I have to present the award for the L. Ron Hubbard birthday game. My birthday game. I have to. Please. You can arrest me right after, I promise. I just can't let all those innocent people suffer for my foolishness.
Ofhubbard.
And most of all, I've come to find community. Queer community. Online. And I thought it would be a nice gesture and a significant one, to see if I couldn't get a mediator from the Queer Exchange Facebook group you got me to join, remember? A mediator to come right down here and help design a healing vision board, a reparations agenda for me, you, and
Doris.
Right, and Pat, both. And for all four of us to reconcile, because toxic patterns stand in the way of social justice, you know.
Ofhubbard, you've been banned from the Queer Exchange Facebook group. You're despised there because of those nudes you posted.
I was hypnotized by bots in my Facebook feed. Please, religious trauma runs so deep in our community. Please let me have one more day, and I promise I'll make a fine example of the power of community and social justice at a grassroots level.
I don't know if I really feel like you're safe enough for me to bring back into any community.
Or Radical Queer Exchange. They'd have me. I didn't fuck up there yet. Radical can mean pretty much anything. Please. Please. My database happens to have brought it to my attention that someone near and dear to you once completed a Scientology Problems of Work course in 1973, and were the church to suddenly collapse, why the ripple effect on innocent people could be devastating, and I can't begin to imagine.
You disgust me. Not disgust in the body shaming sense. Disgust in the sense that you're threatening me and tried to build a gun. Even if the gun failed, you still think it's real, and that's all that matters.
Even though it was you who caused me to build that gun by targeting my sensitive intellect with Facebook posts that makers are leading the economic revolution, I know that you mean not disgust in the sense of body shaming, but in the behavioral sense. You've taught me so much about women empowerment and healing through art.
Art is not a weapon of global domination, Ofhubbard. It's the voice of the people.
Yes, I've always felt the same about the people.
I will see if we can find a mediator on the Radical Queer Exchange Facebook group. But only if it's a trauma specialist with self-defense and de-escalation training.
Oh, praise me, thank you!
Jealousy will be your undoing. That's exactly what the patriarchy wants. They pretty much invented it to control women.
Yes, I believe you. After all, you got your masters in such things, of which I have no comprehension beyond the visceral. I'm only an idiot religious extremist with too much love to give and too much ignorance to know how. Warped for life and most likely unlovable. Suited for menial labor and heavily supervised non-sexual relationships at best. I'm lucky someone like you would even give me the time of day.
You're not an idiot. Don't ever call yourself that.
Oh, thank you. I won't.
I'll find you a mediator on Queer Exchange if you can agree to get treatment starting tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, Ofhubbard. I'll see you tomorrow.
I do hope you'll stop by tonight. The L. Ron Hubbard Birthday Game Awards ceremony is taking place at the center.
The center. That's where I'll be playing the Taylor Swift eulogy.
What a coincidence. Well, then perhaps I can enjoy the sound of your Dylan-esque renderings one last time before I turn myself in tomorrow.
I wanted to give you this.
What? What is it?
Open it.
A box. It's a tiny cake.
Yes.
Oh, but whatever for?
For your birthday.
Yes, it is my birthday, I forgot.
Doris baked it. She's such an amazing baker. It's vegan and gluten-free. But you wouldn't have any idea from the texture. It's sweetened with coconut sugar.
Perhaps if I find it's not sweet enough, I'll add a few gummy bears.
Why gummy bears?
No reason. Cause she wears Frida Kahlo t-shirts, and I've been positioned as a terrorist leader.
Ofhubbard sits and plays a meditation video.
All that you do comes from your most deepest love and desire. It is not for you to apologize or guilt yourself about past mistakes or the suffering of others, or the goals you haven't achieved. Your physical imperfections, your crimes against humanity and the law, it's all unfeeling. If your friends were never even your friends, if the object of your love was merely a cruel trick played upon you by personal gain by a professional musician who was in deeply rooted and unending love affair with a woman who mutually benefited from committing crimes against you that will never be proven.
The soothing image that happens to exactly resemble sniper crosshairs.
Go to the center. You must go to the center. Imagine a person who has caused great pain in your life. Now, I want you to picture them through the circle in the center of this image and send them energy. Go to the center. Go to the center. Send them energy. Where you go to the center.
Did you bring me the files?
Ofken rises from behind the desk, controlled by Ofhubbard's hand, grasping a bunch of manila folders.
Thank you. You know, Ofken, growing up, I always felt that I was an adult, only in a smaller body, just like child Dianetics teaches. But now, as an adult, it is as if I were a child, only in a bigger body. Why can't things be simple? These files should explain everything. No. No. These files reveal that not only has Noel been a spy hired to destroy me the whole time, but they were never church spies like I thought. No. The church would never do a thing like that. It was the government, the spies who wanted to destroy the church the whole time that Noel and Doris, they were dating since 2008 and wanted it to seem like I got dumped to trigger my rage and diminish my publicly perceived sexual value. They knew I had been L. Ron Hubbard in a past life, but instead of telling me they kept it from me, they tried to trigger my past life gender confusion so they could frame me as a homosexual suppressive. Noel would never do this to me on her own. We fell in love. Noel was put up to it by that evil social worker. I have to break them up and give Noel a position at the church. I can't let psychiatrists destroy what we have, our powerful ability to sublimate irregular urges into creative energy. Noel's girlfriend is just jealous and wants to take it all from us. We can't function without each other. I won't allow it. And it says I've been getting dosed with sugar. The entire trajectory of my being tricked into leaving the church was orchestrated by administering calculated doses of sugar and candy. The subject is prone to outbursts, low impulse control on Twitter, fits of rage depending on exposure to processed sugar and corn syrup in its numerous varying compounds. No! It says here that sugar is a drug, which means that I can't be an operating Thetan in this lifetime. I must find an heir to replace me. I remember it all very well. Looking back, it was this lifetime I turned 13. I lived with my down-stat mom and dad, but I knew I was an immortal being. We didn't have money for auditing, to say the least. We were hard-pressed. Then Mama spent every last penny she had to buy me a handmaid's dress. Well, Mama washed and combed and curled my hair and tied the bonnet that had come with the dress. But I kept having daily crying spells, so I went to the school therapist. It was red with wool and trim and it fit me good. And staring back from the looking glass was an adult in a smaller body under a hood. But here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Mama listened to the therapist on the phone, but the two of them were both super weak. I saw the tears well up in my daddy's troubled eyes as he started to speak. He looked at the glossary and he looked at me and took a ragged breath. You're real smart if you act up, they'll use you for government experiments. He handed me an ethics office slip for an appointment after school, and I I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across my basic study manual tools. It sounded like somebody else was talking, asking ethics, what do I do? Write down what you did to your parents, Ofhubbard. You caused what they did to you. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. God is nothing but me and you. You did the things God did to you, so don't let me down. Now you better start moving uptown. That was the last time I saw my dad before he gave up on the science of the mind. And just like my volunteer minister's course warned, he inexplicably just declined. But I started the cycle of cause and effect. For me, there was one way out. Scientologists are the only ones who know what the fuck they're talking about. I did what I chose to do, and I knew with total certainty I was gonna be at total cause with Dianetics technology. I couldn't see spending the rest of my lives with you mortal pieces of shit. Humans have potential, it's godlike. I'm here to help you achieve it. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Wasn't long after geometry teachers signed me up for pussy math in 8th grade. I used study tech for a summer course, transferred to advanced math despite her jealous ass. I used the tools to get shit done despite the haters and pathetic adults. And I became the noble leader of a totalitarian new age cult, and it ain't my fault. Now on this earth there's 2% suppressive people who would call me bad. Criticize my daddy for putting me through behavioral modification programs. And though I ain't had to worry about nothing but helping you go clear, feel free to do what the fuck you want. I don't have time for being queer. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. Here's your glove, Ofhubbard, don't let me down. God forgive me for what I do. Our potential is godlike, so I forgive you. Don't let me down. Your daddy's gonna help you move uptown. And I guess he did. Hubbard! Fellow Scientologists, today we fluctuate on the emotional tone scale between grief and exhilaration. This morning I met with an infant child who claims they are Taylor Swift. Born at the exact second when Taylor Swift departed from her body. I have confirmed the baby's claims on the e-meter. Not only is Taylor able to describe the location and circumstance of death in the previous lifetime as confirmed by law enforcement professionals, Taylor was able to explain that her death was a homicide. The killer? That social worker there. Brought to you by psychiatry, she brainwashed her unwitting girlfriend, an upstanding activist and member of the LGBT Me Too movement, into writing an anti-capitalist love song about Taylor that led to her assassination. Taylor's new adoptive parents agree that it's safest for Taylor to be taken in and raised within the church guardianship, returned to the status of global country pop crossover superstar as soon as she is able to regain rightful custody of the Taylor Swift estate. I trust Taylor's forthcoming auditing sessions will illuminate the remaining details of her tragic death and triumphant return. I present to you the golden age of Taylor Swift.
Hi, you guys.
get me you and knock me off my feet again. Got me feeling like I'm knocking you. With your voice like nerves on a chalkboard calling me out when I'm needing you. Ignore the weaker man. You can take me down with just one single blow. But you don't know, someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're never gonna be is me. Someday I'll be big enough so you can it, and all you're never gonna be is me. Why you gotta be so mean? Your eyes know I'll finalize your humiliation. I'm pointing out my thoughts again. I don't already see them. I walk my head down, try to block you out. I'll never impress you. I just wanna feel okay again. I bet you got pushed around. Somebody made you cold, but the cycle ends right now. Can't lead me down that road. Someday I'll be a little bit old city, and all never gonna be is me. Oh God. Someday I'll be living and all never gonna be is me. Why you gotta be so mean? Why you gotta be so mean?
I'm glad I know so much about Scientology. I'm glad I watched that Lyrical show. It helped me. Personal jokes.
Yes, quite good.
How are
When you're out.
There wasn't no?
It was very
If you make a look at the end, I knew it was coming, and the
It was a slow eye.
Me too!
I was thinking about something that was in that That was genius. You're brilliant. I'm so glad I came. You're so brilliant. It's so good. Very, yeah.
Dixon's way. Dixon's way.
Outcast from five socials.
I know that dance because I've got to do it.
So we're gonna teach us.
I have a feeling it was not a very good interaction.
Oh, so he was like, my every impulse is going to be
Sorry. It was very good. I was like, why are you listening to it?
Yeah, I have heard Yeah. Yo, what you would have been.
Only the smart one.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
I thought it was so much fun, so I'm glad we did that. At the beginning,
We all can't go to a bar and drink water. We all can't. I really wasn't my opinion. Not yet.
You know when there's nothing worse, you're like,
I had that on my eyeball. I'm gonna get this guy.
So good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Try to make all of that.
You know that in Mount Olympus,
Hey, I can do that.
they have full back and like the twerk scenes, yeah. Full back. No, it wasn't bad.
I'm going to see another Woman's Peace tomorrow, and another guy is doing other things. So I just never go to see like Bronze shows.